What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're taking a look at a smaller title that I get the feeling is made by a smaller team, but nonetheless interesting. This game is called Exodus Borealis. It's a city-building colony management game that's got a lot of the components that you would find in something like Banished, but it sort of takes the idea of, like, what if you were playing Banished or you were playing Anno, and not only did you have to make your citizens happy and build markets and have farms and have logistics and all that kind of stuff, but also what if you were under attack by fantasy creatures coming out of a giant eldritch gate? And so anyways, it's effectively Banished, but with a tower defense bent to it, which is actually kind of strange, because I feel like it would be more conducive if it was like a castle defense game, like Besieged, but at the same time, all of the constituent parts kind of come together, and they seem to work out. So anyways, if you wanted to try the early access of this game out, I've got a link for you down below in the description. You'll find it down there. On top of that, you can also find a link to my Twitter, my Twitch stream, and my central Discord, which is the flowing life. I almost said it's the blowing lifeblood of my channel. Might be slightly more appealing. But anyways, the beating, flowing heartbeat of my entire operation. Let's play some Exodus Borealis. We got about 25-30 minutes to kill, so let's do this thing. We're going to start out on Shiroi Island, I guess. And then it looks like maybe later on you unlock like a randomized island, possibly. Okay, let's go ahead and check it on out and see what's going on here. Okay, so here we are. Here's our little village of fox folk. We came here on a boat. Unfortunately, the boat don't float. So here we are on an island. If the boat did float, I doubt we would have even stopped off here. But that being said, hey, we're in the area. This is the giant terror gate that's going to try to murder us every, like, X amount of time. I don't know. I think it's like once a year. I think it's at the beginning of every single year you get attacked. The map is the same every single time. There's no variation. This is the exact same map I had when I was testing the game out for everything. I would like to see a randomized map made for the game that would come up like different every single time procedurally. I do think that would add a little bit of replayability to the game, but I haven't unlocked the second island yet, so it's possible that that one might be randomized, in which case, just ignore me entirely. The first things that we're going to need, so let's take a look at the UI first and foremost. The game has like a very utilitarian UI. It's very simple, but to be honest, I would rather have something really, really simple versus something really overly gaudy. So like, for example, I don't know if this video is going to go up before or after my coverage of Age of Grit, but Age of Grit has a game with a really cool UI, but the UI is really huge. It's really garish. It's like all over the place. It's got cogs that move and it slides around, and like, at a certain point, it's kind of like just visually exhausting. So anyways, I prefer like RimWorld style menus like these, if and where possible. So we've got a couple of menus here. We can't use a lot of these. For job management, we've got 6 working citizens right now. You can see how many citizens you have in your little fox village right here. We have 6 adults. I would suggest we have a builder, we have like a lumberjack, we have a miner, we have a farmer, and then we'll just have 2 general workers for moving objects around. The first thing that we want to do is we want to build a Monet. So let's go ahead and we'll throw together a Monet over here. Where does the Monet want to go? I think we could get away with it going right there. So there it is. We've Monet'd it up, and all of our goodies are inside of our boat, so they're going to go through, and... So this might be the weirdest cut that I've ever made in the middle of a video. I just got texted a picture, so from a random number while recording, I got texted a picture of Michael Myers about to stab somebody. Like, from the perspective of the person that's about to be stabbed. I'm like, that's mildly unsettling. I don't love that. And they want us to go find the gate, and since we're waiting for the mine to get built anyways, I don't think it really entirely matters. So we'll swing on over here, we'll take a look at the gate, and we'll be good to go. The logistics guys are all going to start moving this stuff over, and in fact, we're already done building the mine, so we'll have somebody go work inside of there. The reason for it is because we have no stone right now. Mines are multi-purpose. You can actually like click and set the mine to do certain things, so we can tell it to get ore, we can tell it to get gems. Gems are kind of interesting in this game because like gems add to your elemental affinity, and when you start building your defenses around the gate to protect your city, you can use the gems for various things to kind of impart elemental bonuses that will like counteract enemy resistances, stuff like that. But the mine's up and running. We need some stone though before that's going to be super helpful. And so what I would rather do right now is we're going to make like 2 farms. There we go. and that'll supply us with the food that we're going to need in order to survive. I do like, so like in certain cases, I feel like the buildings in this game, they wrap around the terrain in like a really satisfying way. Sometimes they clip through though, and it kind of makes me wonder if we couldn't put everything up on like risers or something like that, or some kind of flattening mechanism to make it look a little bit more pleasing. On top of that, the game is very like, it's hard to describe, like it's very saturated, but at the same time it looks a little foggy or like washed out. Taking a look at the detail of the models down here, they look all right. They look functional. I mean, I get the feeling you're probably not supposed to be zoomed in that far, but like, you know, like it's serviceable for where it's at in early access right now. Although honestly, like more sophistication is never something that I'd ever complain about when being added to a game. All right, so our second farm is now being constructed. We've got our farmer. He's going to go to work and he's going to plant some itchy root. In general, I don't like itchy root. For obvious reasons, it makes you feel itchy. But, you know, they seem to be fans of it, and who am I to kind of, like, disparage them from having the thing that they want to have. Housing in this game is really only important in winter. Like, so people want to sleep inside, and if they sleep inside, this game actually has kind of an interesting system. So, like, with a lot of other colony management games, you've got to, like, balance the mood of your people. And this game, the mood of the people matters. They don't have, like, mental breaks like RimWorld style. Instead, they get buffs and debuffs to their hauling and their movement speed based on how many of their needs have been satisfied. So, like, if they have a house, they walk a little faster. They can carry, like, extra stacks of stuff when they're delivering. If they have food that they like, ditto, or don't like. If they have access to, like, education, and if they have access to, you know, various social services and stuff like that, they become stronger, and they're able to haul more stuff around. And there is a difference. Like, somebody with, like, more than half of their needs met carries, like, quite a lot more stuff when they're, like, supplying buildings and whatnot. And so there is actually kind of an interesting way to make your logistics work even more effectively. And that answer is just go through and, you know, make sure they have all their needs met. And we're putting in a barn over here. That's going to allow them to transfer all the goodies from the wrecked ship over to here. And then we also need to get some houses built. All right, so as for those houses, I do like the fact that the game has included the ability to push pause. Push pause is one of those things that I think is just one of the best innovations in gaming ever. I very much prefer it because I'm kind of a slow player. I'm not very good at games. I like to think about what I'm doing next. We have enough stone to do a couple of houses. And so I suggest that we do that. So there's a house right there, and there's a house right there. What was the next task they wanted me to do? Oh, they wanted me to build houses. Gotcha. All right, well, let's speed it on up real fast because we're not really looking at any other tasks that we need to get done anyways. Already did that. All right, so these two houses are going to go on up. I do like the building graphics. I feel like, I mean, that one's kind of like clipped into the ground right there. But like, I do, like, once they put this together, I like how the buildings have like little foundations and stuff on them. I was kind of looking at them when I was playing through the last time. Anything pertinent going on? I don't think anything pertinent's going on. I think we're good. There's house number 1. It has been built. And then house number 2 should be going up shortly. I'll probably build like a house number 3 just to future-proof us. But I haven't made up my mind yet. Perfect. So there's house number 2. The next thing that we definitely need is a research lab. We need to get somebody researching because we have a researcher, but they're not really doing anything right now. The land's too rough right there. That's a bummer. I would have liked to have put that right there. Okay, we'll put it right there then. We'll try to keep it all in the grid. The game does have a big grip of sort of like rulers and like line measures and stuff like that, so that if you're like a stickler for things being symmetrical or things being properly spaced, you shouldn't have too many problems making that happen. As soon as this is built, we can dive into the research menu, which, as you can see, actually has quite a lot of stuff going on. I mean, more than half of it is eaten up just by kind of buffs that you use for your gem mining and for your towers. But that being said, the game's in early access, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this all kind of, I guess, expand. I'm not a big fan of tech trees that flow from left to right. I usually prefer that they have tabs and they go from top to bottom. But, like, that's just me. I think that's like a personal taste thing. I don't need any of that, so we can kind of just stop with the tutorials. We'll figure it out as we go. So out they go. Our farmer's going to be harvesting our first itchy roots, which is great because, you know, we need something to go with our scratchy roots. And then as soon as the research building's done, we're also going to think about it's summer right now. We need to research towers, and we need to start getting some defenses and stuff going around the gate, because in spring of year 1, we're going to get attacked on the first night, I think. And so we need to basically be geared up for that. All right, research is going on up. And so now we can actually start working on this stuff. And I want defensive structures first. Walls and towers, please. Just walls and towers. Walls and towers. Build for hours. Just make sure we've got it going on so that we can make dope beats and dope rhymes and also shoot arrows at the minotaurs that are going to be coming to kind of like lay us low. That's right, there's minotaurs. All right, this area has a very, very large... This area has like a very, very large infestation of minotaurs. All right? I'm going to future-proof a little bit by adding another house, I think. Oh, the land's too rough right there. Well, that's a bummer. Okay, well, maybe we'll just add something. I do wish you could squinch these a little bit closer. I wish you could kind of give them the old inchy squinchy and make it just a little bit tiny closer. Having more houses doesn't seem to affect how many immigrants you get. I think all you really have is kind of passive growth. Like, it's pretty much just, like, people having kids, effectively. And so, like, next year, some of these are going to become adults, and some of them will not. And then based on your general population, they're going to have more or less kids, so on and so forth. Hopefully we don't get run up on by anything, because I'd rather not deal with that. All right, research is done, so we have defensive structures. So what we want to do now is we kind of want to start planning over here what it is that we want to do. I would suggest that we put in like 2 arrow towers. Like, so we have like an arrow tower like right meow and like right meow. And then we'll figure out the walls and the arrangement of how we want to do all this a little bit later. Effectively, I'm going to follow the tower defense strategy of just kind of weaving a 1 tile back and forth, and then maybe having like loop backs and stuff. We'll see how it goes. It's been a long time since I was really, really into tower defense games. I've always sort of felt like tower defense games have like run their course, and there haven't been a lot of tower defense games lately that have really like changed the formula there. What I did like was Creeper World, because Creeper World took kind of the... Creeper World took the formula for tower defense and made it like tower offense, and like I actually really liked that about Creeper World. That's one of the few games I think that has tried to like innovate inside the headspace of tower defense games. But you know, they're gonna keep on doing their thing. I'm not really going to build much more from here on out, so I'm just gonna bypass some time, and we'll come back on in with an edit once we've got these towers up and running, and we'll decide where we want to put the walls. And we got a wind gem. That's pretty cool. So it's officially winter right now. There are a change in environmental effects. You'll find that they start burning firewood inside the houses that give you a nice little pleasant smoke effect right there. The landscape does get covered with snow. I would like to see the snow actively like melt and like fade in and fade out as the seasons go along. But I mean, I think they've also got a good opportunity because they've got that transition screen in between seasons. I feel like they're still in good shape. Like, it's not that hard to look at. I suspended my mining for a little bit. The researches that we've done is we've done the large arrow tower, and then we've done the prepared raw food. We probably want to get started with charcoal, because charcoal is going to lead us to mortar, and mortar is going to allow us to build more advanced buildings and, like, upgrade buildings. So I think that'll be a pretty good investment as well. I think if we get both of these towers done by, like, the end of the day, we'll be in very, very solid shape. Now, the other thing we want to do is we want to start getting these walls rocking right here. So what we'll do is we'll kind of just bring this out to right here, and we'll see what the enemy does as time goes along. And so I would prefer that these kind of go this way, like so. What are these walls costing me right now? 5 wood and 5 stone. That's okay. With our current workforce, I think that should be affordable. Like, we shouldn't have to spend too much money getting this thing up and running. I don't think that the first wave is more than 1 or 2 guys anyways, just as sort of like a warning that, like, hey, there are threats coming. And so I think we're reasonably safe for the beginning duration of the video without having to worry about it too much. Okay, here we are, year 1. We are going to get attacked on the eve of tonight. The good news is one of our children grew up, so we've got an extra worker, so that should make stuff move along. I've been watching our food usage for the last little bit, and I think we're in okay shape. Like, I think we're good to go. One thing I do like about the game is that when you look at the farmer description, it tells you exactly how many individual fields a farmer can work by himself, and I think it was like 4. And so I actually really like that for logistical planning. It gets rid of some of the guesswork that exists in a lot of cases with games, like not knowing exactly how many farmers you need in order to you know, get the work done. And so I like very much that they just give you that information for free and you don't have to worry about it. Our stone supply is dithering a little bit, so I may move some job management around for a second. Maybe add like a lumberjack and a miner just for a little while to get a little bit more wood and a little bit more stone. The general idea here is that I'll probably start putting towers along both sides as they go this way. I don't know if the upgrade to large arrow tower is going to make that bigger or not, but, like, I guess we'll figure that out at some point. A building used to burn wood in a low-oxygen environment to produce charcoal. Yeah, producing charcoal is actually really, really easy. You just get a sealed tin, throw some wood in there, and throw it on a fire with, like, 1 or 2 holes poked in the top with, like, a needle, like, very, very small holes. And what'll happen is the container fills up with wood gas, and the wood gas soaks the wood that exists inside of there. Turn to charcoal real quick. You can do it with char cloth as well if you're looking for tinder to start a fire. Make your fire starting life a lot easier. I'll tell you what. You take like a little tin of just like, you take a little tin of char cloth with you when you go camping. Poof, that thing will go up in flames real quick. Oh, we're being attacked. Where's he at? Oh, yeah, there he is right there. We've got a little minotaur waddling down the hill, having no idea what he's about to walk into. And it looks like we actually got all the tasks we needed to get done in, like, a timely fashion. So, pew pew, shoot him with arrows, pew pew. There you go. And the minotaur has been vanquished. He is no longer a concern. And so, yeah, I'll probably I'll have this run all the way down over to here, and we'll just line it with towers. Since towers don't seem to have any kind of effect on our overall population or, like, workflow, fine by me. We'll go with city planning. That's going to let us make paths that allow people to walk faster, and then we can also get stuff that make people happier inside the confines of the city. We are stacking up a few more goodies over here, which I'm glad to see. I may actually make another farm. We also have a tree nursery, which I think would make life a little bit easier on our lumberjacks. I don't know who works a tree nursery. Either way, let's do the tree nursery. Yeah, I mean, it's just 10 wood on either side, so why stress about it? The other thing we're going to need is we're going to need, like, a secondary mine, I think, to start producing a little bit of ore. But I don't think they like work buildings being near to, like, the main buildings, so off we go. I'll probably try to get one more tower installed over here before too long, but it's not like a huge priority. Somebody needs to finish that last wall over there too, otherwise they're going to be able to just go around. It is not going to be ideal when it gets all minotated up around here. We've got another research ready to rock. We'll get paths. Looks like our population, we don't have a notification that we need more houses, so I think we're good right there, too. I will probably place just another backup tower over here. We'll see how the next wave goes. If the next wave turns out to be, like, really, really gnarly, then we'll concern ourselves with it a little bit later. It's kind of a bummer that I can't. It'd be cool if you could nest these on the walls because they look like they almost perfectly fit. Like, even if that was just like a technology that you unlock later on down the line, I think that would be really, really cool. Like, I think that'd be rad. Because I want this to be spaced properly, I'm going to put that in right there, and then we'll just line this thing with towers on each side. That's pretty much exactly my goal for right now. Research is humming along. We've got another mine over here. We're going to swap this one over to ore. And then I need my pop to go up. That's really, we don't have enough people right now. I need some more peepos. Oh, we can get cooks now, too. That's pretty cool. So they will cook food at a cookhouse or in a great hall. Cool. We've got mortar masons over here. All right, give me another miner real fast. And then I think we'll worry about the charcoal burners and the mortar next season. I want to make sure that we get a nice little stockpile of the stuff that we're going to need to get by before I start playing around with advanced buildings. I do very much. I dislike the amount of time it takes us to walk over here and stock up this building. Like, I feel like that uses up a lot of our workflow. We also wanted to pay careful attention to, like, our... Oh, we have no research right now. We also want to pay attention to our food usage. We'll get child mentorship, which helps them grow up a little bit faster, I think, if we have schools and stuff. How's that going? I'm kind of watching my farmers right now. She's almost done with the initial fields. It looks like she didn't get a chance to plant all of them, though, so I think we may have to bring in another farmer. I wasn't sure if the lumberjacks were going to handle the tree planting either, like that was a lumberjack task or if that was a farmer task. And so based on what I've seen thus far, I think it might be a farmer task. So we may need to add another farmer on up in here. Invader wave with a total of 1 approaching the gate. Okay, good to know. I think we'll be fine. Like, we've still got the same towers up that we've always had up. But I do think the game probably expects us... Easy enough. Yeah, I think the game probably expects us to constantly be expanding our defenses and always working on, like, our grid over there. We've got about 180 of that. I can probably tell that not to produce. We've got like 500 stone sitting around, so I think we're solid. We're almost full up on storage. Our food does seem to be taking a little tiny dip. Like, not a wild and crazy dip, but I think it might be time for a second farmer. We got to get rid of a miner, though, to do that, so we'll get a second farmer over there. Oh, cool, that tower's built. Hell yeah. Get the next one going. We'll go with a small arrow tower, just like right there. And then maybe I'll expand the walls out to go a little bit further, too. But I think that our building workforce is probably going to be a little bit limited on that front. Let's go with schooling. Yeah, I would like to get the school. So it educates 5 children at a time, and it improves work efficiency for the duration of their entire life. Oh, really? I thought maybe it would help them grow up faster, but it looks like it actually just makes them a more productive worker versus their parents. So fine by me. I'm happy with all of those decisions. I think we're going to need more storage space pretty soon, too. It might be time for us to double barn it on up. Yeah, we might have to get a secondary barn over here. Let's do it. We've got the woods, so like I'm not that upset about it. It says the land is too rough over here. I may have picked like a really bad place to start my base off. That's what I'm thinking, is that maybe I just got a little bit overexcited. Yeah, I mean, this little tributary right here, this little fluvial area is causing problems. Land too rough. Okay, well, I don't think there's anything stopping me. We can use this for food, and maybe we take this barn and we kind of like plop it over here. And then maybe we'll deconstruct the mines and move them up closer to this rock wall over here. Maybe that's what we'll do, but I do like our little position here on this hill. I feel like this would actually be a really pleasant place to live. I love the saturation of everything, too. Like, I like the amount of color that they've got infused into the game. It's very eye-catching, I guess. I've never been a big fan of the Saving Private Ryan. Let's wash everything out. Let's make everything look kind of sepia or taupe. Like, I've never been I know it implies that you're, like, in sort of a dark world where bad things are happening, but it's never really been my thing. Let's see here. If citizens have extra carrying capacity, they will bring more resources for additional projects, resulting in less overall trips. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. Let's get smelt. We'll go with cloth first, I guess. We'll get cloth. I think it's a good idea. Like, I don't know if these guys actually have clothing on for right now. It doesn't look like it. Every single one of these characters are named, though, and they do have, like, things that are being fulfilled, so... They seem to mostly be happy about just about everything. So we've almost got them at 100% work efficiency, which I think is honestly all that you can ask for in a situation like this. Let's go ahead and speed it up again. We got 30 more stone that needs to be delivered over there. This barn is actively in the process of being constructed, which is great, because that means I can tear this down and I can put the mines over here. Did I ever research paths? Oh, I did. Nice. Maybe I should build some paths then. Let's make our city look... Let's see what the paths look like. So we've got kind of a street right there. We've got a street that runs that way. We'll have that run over to there. I feel like it might not be the worst plan to have a road that runs like all the way over to our defensive area for faster planning. Like, I think they'll deliver stuff like you do get a speed buff for being on a road. So having one that goes out to kind of like our defensive zone may actually give ourselves an efficiency increase. I don't know that for certain. Like, I don't know if they'll use it, but I think it's worth a shot. Like, the potential benefits, I think, weigh in on it. But this is Exodus Borealis. I hope you guys liked it. We're... about midway through the research trees right now when it comes to the technologies available for defending our city, but the game is in early access, so I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot more stuff added to it. We're being attacked by 2 Minotaurs right now. Okay, well, I'm glad that I continued to upgrade the walls then, because these 2 definitely wouldn't have been able to handle 2. But yeah, they didn't even make it to that little strip right there. So I think we can probably ignore for now. But yeah, Exodus Borealis. I'm of the opinion that tower defense games are kind of like solved. Like there hasn't been a whole lot of innovation in tower defense games lately. But I do like the idea of hybridizing a logistical city builder a la Banished or a la Patron or a la any of those games with a tower defense idea, because you've really got 2 separate ideas that you're working on in this game. You've got like your central city planning and like making everybody happy and making sure everybody has the things they need, and then you take little breaks from that to build a little defensive perimeter as well. And I sort of dig that, because for me, tower defense games have never really been altogether that engaging, and so I think hybridizing it with a different gameplay style and merging those 2 things together so that, like, it's got 2 things working at once, I think really, really helps get rid of some of the humdrum and the droll from, like, the same old tower defense game that you've been playing for the last 20 years. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Exodus Borealis. During my playtime, I've had 0 crashes. The opening load is very, very long, and it's going to look like the program is hung if it happens to you like it happened to me, but if you wait for like 5 minutes, the game will eventually start. So don't worry about that. In terms of settings and things that are available for you to peruse, it looks like we've got a fairly basic suite of settings right here. We can control our resolution, we can control full screen, or if we want to be in a window, we've got VSync available just in case you've got a lot of tearing. We've also got different graphical presets, but it doesn't look like it allows you to break that up with an advanced mode. You can go Euro mode or American mode if you wanted to have your things in metric, or if you wanted to have them in Imperial. You can change the brightness, which is very much appreciated. The audio mixer is fairly standard fare stuff. I do like the ability to disable the tutorials. I do like the ability to show the attack warnings. They've got an arachnophobia mode, which is an accessibility thing. And then you've also got some camera speed and rotation settings over here for the sensitivity. I'll see y'all next time. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope I've done a good job at, holding your attention, or at least earning your attention. And I'll see y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Bye, everybody.